Welcome to today's video where we're going to take a look at one of these 99-02 clusters again. And what we're going to be doing in this one is changing the color of this display right here. So the message center display. That is this component here. So I already have one that's removed from a instrument cluster, and we will disassemble it, change the colors in it, and reassemble it and see how it works. So yeah, this is a viewer requested video. If we have any more viewer request videos, feel free to comment and ask about them. I'm more than happy to do them. And even if these requests are for something I've already done before, I'll either link you to that video, or if it's something that I feel like I should probably do a new video on, I may cover it again. But yeah, let's jump right into this and open up one of these, see what the inside looks like. All right, so let's take a look at this little module here. So you'll notice I've already bent back the tabs. You just got to bend back all of these tabs and then you'll be able to disassemble it. You got a little ASIC here on the back, and then you flip it over and there's 3 diodes. You'll notice here on the LCD it's got 2 zebra strips on either side of it. And yeah, the LCD, you can take it all the way out, but we don't need to for this. So yeah, we have 3 LEDs, and they are bidirectional LEDs. They're really 2 different, it's just 2 diodes, one kind of going this way and one going that way for the 2 different colors, and it'll give you that yellow or the red. Okay, and you can see how these LEDs work just using a regular DMM in diode mode. So if we put the positive on this end, you will get yellow or amber, and then if you put it on that end, you'll get red. So that's how it works. We can see that it's like a 1.7 volt drop across it. So aim for a 1.7 volt, 2 volt LED that you're going to replace it with. Now these are right angle LEDs. They are much harder to find. Notice the pads there and the diode there. They're quite a bit harder to find. You really need them to be right angle if you're like running an SMT line making these. But if you're doing it yourself manually for just one of these, you could just use a regular diode and just tilt it sideways. You just got to be a little more careful when you put it on. So that's what we're going to do here, because it is harder to find those right angle ones, especially if you're looking for a particular color. The request on this for the video, because I really don't do this as a service, but the request was to make it black and white, which all what you do is use a bidirectional white LED to do that. And those are commonly found in light fixtures, because then, you know, it's doing the rectification. It just, you know, works on either side of the sine wave. You don't actually have to have like a DC voltage. But yeah, these are what we're going to use in this video. So yeah, this is the part number that I am using. But, you know, just any bidirectional LED that's kind of close to the right voltage drop should work. And yeah, let's get these installed. I'm going to install them where red is the same. So really we're just changing. So these are blue and red. So we'll be changing it from being yellow and red to blue and red. Okay, so first we just need to take these old ones off, which is as simple as just getting both pads hot and taking them off. Now I'm just taking some MG Chemicals flux, and we're going to clean off the pads and put some fresh leaded solder down. Okay, so now I'm just going to wet one pad on each. So just like that. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the surface tension of this one pad to hold the diode in place to solder it, and then I'll do the other one. And so yeah, the main thing you want to be careful of when using the tweezers on there is to not actually be grabbing like the very front of it where the die is, because this epoxy can get soft and then you can crush it and break the bonding wires or damage the die itself. So I was holding it by the kind of ceramic or plastic base that's right there on this one side, which is why I wetted one, soldered it on, and then did the other. So now I just got to repeat this for the other two. But we can see we now have red, and then we'll have blue. These SMT diodes, generally they're marked with a green to annotate the orientation of them, like a little green spot. A lot of times it's on the back, but these ones put it on the front, so that makes it a little easier. Okay, so now let's just check and make sure that I didn't accidentally put one on backwards. So blue, blue, blue. Okay, they're all on the same way. I didn't really care which color was which, so that is that's really it for this. We just need to clean up the flux a little bit. You don't have to get them on there perfect. This should work as is. One of the things you do want to make sure of is that these are clean and that you did not get flux or solder on the pads that go to the zebra strip, or else your LCD is just not going to work. So definitely be cautious about getting flux on there and just clean it off before you put it back together. Now we just have to put all these tabs back on, and yeah, I don't have a good pair of needle nose to do this with, so just use my flat cutters to grab it. I go through flat cutters a lot, and this is just going to shock you that I abuse them and use them for things they're not meant for. Okay, so we got all the tabs bent back on. Let's stick this on an instrument cluster and see if it works. Okay, so there it is, powered up. We can see we now have a blue battery symbol and a red low fuel. So the red would have originally been on the battery. So I think that is flipped now from what it was, but it works and it does exactly what we were expecting. So if we wanted to do black and white, all we have to do is just have a bidirectional white LEDs. That way it's white either way, and so the back will be lit up white and then the text will be black. Other than that, you'd have to start like messing with the polarizer and stuff, and I don't get that far into LCDs. So yeah, if you just want to like change the colors of it, this is how you do it. You're just changing out those LEDs, and again, you could just use a regular LED that faces upright and then just tilt it on its side to do this. Obviously, you wouldn't want to do that in like manufacturing if you're going to run a line of these, but as long as you're gentle with it and you don't crush the die, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But yeah, if you sit there soldering on it all day long, you're going to melt it. And if you sit there and really grab kind of the center of it with your tweezers, you're going to crush the die or break the bonding wire. So you do need to be gentle doing this. But other than that, it's really not a difficult modification to do. Okay, well, hopefully you guys liked today's video on doing the light swap on this guy. I will have this one on my eBay because I don't really offer this as a service, so I don't need it. So if anybody wants it, it'll be in my eBay store, which is the same place you can find these little modules that I sell for doing the 99 to 02 conversion with the 03 and up instrument cluster. So, you know, mouthful there trying to explain it, but it is just, you can plug and play the newer instrument cluster in the older body style. So that's what this is for. But yeah, you'll have a link in the description to my eBay page and any of the stuff that I use to do this project on Amazon. So you can check those out. Those help support the channel. And I have some more videos coming up that I think you'll be interested in. I should have one for the open source release of the firmware for this coming up really soon. I think I got the firmware kind of cleaned up enough and got stuff commented in there. I did use AI to help write the comments in there to make it, you know, I just didn't have time to write all of my comments. So definitely, I think I got that about ready to post online, so that way anybody that bought one of these that wants to modify the firmware or has interest in that, there'll be a video coming up on that real soon. And then I have some other G1850 variable pulse width stuff coming up soon. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those, and I'll see you in the next one.